this past Monday night, CM Punk cut deep on Roman Reigns with what I think was an out of line promo. Should some of this stuff be allowed?
Speaking of out of line, Jade Cargill's fighting with everybody online.
So yeah, for these topics and a few more, we're going to go ahead and roll the intro. We're going to get right back into it.
Alrighty, Joe. Let's hop into the first topic here.
Get my timer. All right, go ahead.
All right, Joe. Let's hop into the first topic. Scrolling the internet at lunch today and saw that Jade Cargill's been feuding with the entire women's locker room pretty much online. Have you seen any of it?
I have not. I know you mentioned it earlier before we started recording. I don't follow social media a whole lot, so no, I didn't see it.
Let me give you a quick recap.
You're going to have to educate me. You're going to mansplain this to me, Jeff.
Yes, sir. So Rhea Ripley responded to a fan's post on Instagram or X or one of those sites saying, basically pointing out that this is Rhea's 4th year in a row wrestling for a title at WrestleMania. Kind of big fan, calling out her honors and everything. Rhea responds with, "I guess I'm that bitch," which is of course Jade Cargill's slogan.
Right.
Jade Cargill responded just out of the blue. She didn't tag her or anything. Oh yeah, well, guess what? You're second place. Hinting to the fact that the original opponent was supposed to be Bianca Belair, but she's not healed quick enough. That's some online rumors. So Rhea returned by posting a video of Jade saying that Rhea was her dream opponent. So calling her out, it's like, yeah, you wish you could wrestle me, Then, Jade came back with Rhea's politicking backstage, and then they got into a, shouting at each other, online. So Chelsea Green then later responded to Rhea's message about being that bitch and saying, well, honestly, you're proof that you can be a great wrestler, a tough girl, and still be kind to people. And Jade Cargill then started attacking Chelsea Green for talking too much. Piper Niven jumped in and told Jade Cargill, "What's your problem? You weren't mentioned in any of these posts. What's your deal?" So is this just Jade trying to form a lane somewhere, trying to build hype for her match, or is this like real online beef?
I mean, that's what it sounds like to me. It sounds to me like she's not, even though she's the champion, to her, this is how she feels. I think, I don't know, I don't talk to her, but maybe she doesn't feel like, even though she's the champion, people still don't look at her as she's on the same level as like a Rhea Ripley or even Chelsea Green or something like that.
Or
I know
even Piper Niven.
Well, Piper Niven I know is Chelsea Green's part of her secret Herbis or whatnot. But if hopefully she comes back. But that's what it looks like to me. As far as if it's a shoot or if it's a work, I don't know. It sounds, from what you said, without having any other context, it sounds like this might be a shoot.
Yeah, they started accusing each other of politicking backstage. And, after what I saw earlier is after Rhea's last post, she hasn't posted again in like 24 hours. Like she just got frustrated and turned off the internet. So
yeah, that's interesting. Yeah. I mean, but then again, it could just be something to build up their WrestleMania match. Right. Yeah. So I don't think there's too many people who are too excited to see Jade Cargill in the WrestleMania main event.
Nobody wants to see Jade wrestle anybody, or at least nobody in this room. I'll leave. Maybe she's got some fans out there. So
I would like to talk to them. If you're a fan of Jade Cargill, let us know down below.
Yeah. Let us know what you think. So speaking of online fighting and online feuds, what about out of line feuds and out of line promos? Last night on Raw, CM Punk and Roman Reigns went at it. CM Punk, as you mentioned, dug a little deep.
Yeah. He brought up, Roman Reigns as his passed away father, his deceased father. And I know this kind of stuff has happened in the past with, Dusty Rhodes and things like that. With Cody Rhodes. I always, and I know I don't know, but I assume they talk about this kind of stuff beforehand, but it still makes me very uncomfortable when I watch it. I don't know why. And maybe that's what they're going for, right? Maybe they want people to be like, "Oh man, this just got real."
Yeah.
And if that's what they're trying for, then yeah, that worked, right? Because it is kind of weird to me when people do that.
Real quick, he said, and I quote, "Now I'm going to bury you, and then you won't be all alone anymore because I'm going to bury you next to your father." So this is alluding to the fact that one, his family's gone. The bloodline's been broken up for a while now. But yeah, that's kind of dig. I was thinking about that last night. My dad passed away about 10 years ago now. And even a professional setting, if somebody made a joke or said something like that I didn't know about, I don't think I could take it. I think I'd be really upset.
Yeah, and thankfully I still have my father, but even I can only imagine if I didn't, how that would make me feel even worse than how it already makes me feel when people say stuff like that online, or not online, but in promos. Again, this could have all been talked about beforehand. Roman might have said, okay, it might have even been Roman's idea. I don't know. Just to kind of push that feud forward a little bit. I know they're trying to make it like a blood feud where they hate each other. I forgot to hit the timer, so we're gonna have to guess. Another idea this could be because, his dad was the high chief. Maybe this is a way, it's going to bring back the bloodline again.
Yeah.
Jimmy and Jay, and maybe Fatu joins it, and Solo maybe comes back, something like that, and rebuild it because, they're all family. So it's kind of like a family attack.
Yeah. And there's always rumors that there's more bloodline people that are coming up the chain. So is this a way to introduce a new member of the bloodline or something?
Yeah. I mean, you got
lines?
3 of them in the MFTs, right? Yeah. I guess JC Mateo could be one. I don't know. They want him to be.
Yeah.
All right. So I forgot to hit the timer. I'm going to assume that was about 3 minutes. All right. All right. Next up, I hit the timer this time.
So something else CM Punk mentioned during his promo, which was a little bit on the goofier side, but he mentioned that Roman made the list.
Yeah.
And then during Danhausen's talk with Adam Pearce backstage, he also mentioned that he had a list. Are these subtle or not so subtle hints at a return of Chris Jericho?
Yeah, I know Chris Jericho's been hinted at coming back. Last I checked, I didn't check today, but last I checked, he's still on the AEW roster page. I know when Danhausen came over, he was off the roster page like the day prior, and then he showed up. So I think maybe they're planting seeds for it, kind of get things ready. It kind of be one of those things we're going to pay attention and see, if they drop more past Jericho gimmicks or something like that within promos. But I don't know. It could just be nothing. Could just be, hey, you made the list of people who want to beat me up, stuff like that. And I know Danhausen, we'll talk about it, but Danhausen had his toilet paper list that he was giving to people. So it could just be, we might be reading too far into it, but it is one of those things that WWE has been doing a lot lately, is planting little seeds like that with things in the background that happen or something in someone's promo. So it could very well be, but at the same time, I wouldn't be shocked if it wasn't.
So yeah, we talked Saturday night after Elimination Chamber, and I had no idea who Danhausen was. You hinted beforehand that you thought that's who was in the crate. You ended up being correct.
Always am.
You told me that I would like him though, because I like the more goofy, gimmicky wrestlers than you do. Mm-hmm. And his first entrance last night, at least where he spoke, I thought was pretty funny. He came out, he called Adam Pearce Stone Cold, kind of using the
we're jumping right into 11.
Oh, did I jump topics?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Let's go back.
Well, we can. All right. I guess we're done with that one anyway. So we'll just go ahead. Danhausen Raw debut.
Danhausen Raw debut.
We don't have a list or anything. Don't worry about it.
I'm screwing up the topics. I'm an amateur. But he called Adam Pearce Stone Cold, similar to R-Truth, confusing DIY as Triple H and Shawn Michaels. And then he mentioned, you've got your glasses on, so you must be undercover as Adam Pearce. Again, I think those kind of things are funny as long as they're not overdone and he doesn't start stealing some R-Truth gimmicks. He said
that's what that is.
Yeah. Well, no, yes.
Specifically,
but
exactly
if he starts using the exact same ones, I mean, I think you can do something similar. I don't know. I like it. I thought it was funny. He handed Adam Pearce his list of demands, and it was all wet. And he said he dropped it in the toilet. Adam Pearce dropped it again. That stuff's okay. We'll see where that goes from here. He's got to be able to wrestle. He's got to be able to do more. But I know the one thing I didn't catch last night, but I catch on my rewatch this morning as I was taking notes is what he said to Dom. Do you recall?
Yeah, he cursed him. I don't remember if there's anything other than that. He's just like, I curse you or something like that. If I could be wrong in this, I do not watch a lot of AEW. I would catch it here and there back in the day, and I think that used to be something he did back then. I could be wrong on that. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like he said the same thing to someone at Elimination Chamber too when he was handing the teeth to the announcers.
Michael Cole. I think he handed the teeth to Michael Cole.
I think he said, I curse you or something like that. I think it was something, maybe I could be wrong on that too. Talking about the gimmick though, I know you like these kind of gimmicks. I think they have too many of them now. R-Truth fits it great. He makes everybody laugh. He makes me laugh. I think that's fine. I did think on his list of demands on Danhausen, he wanted a blimp, which I think that kind of stuff is funny where it's very random. I don't like him calling him Stone Cold and stuff like that because that's an R-Truth thing. He's come up with his own funny,
gimmick?
his own funny stuff.
Yeah.
Like he clearly has his own gimmick. He's like
Yeah.
I knew you would like him because he's goofy and he's like I feel like if I went to a play, he'd be on stage at a play.
He belongs in the Rocky Horror
Yeah,
Picture
Rocky
Show.
Horror Picture Show, something like that. So yeah, that's how I knew you would like it. And you know, the thing with him though is he is good on the mic and he is a decent wrestler. So as long as they don't just lean too far into the goofy humor stuff, I think he'll be okay, at least for me. But they see him as almost want to say like a Mr. Iguana. He's gonna be a merch mover.
Okay.
The kids are gonna buy his stuff because he's got a good look. You know, a different look anyway. I don't know if it's a good look, but it's a different look that from any other wrestler, and I think he'll move merchandise. And he's CM Punk's like best friend, so that probably doesn't hurt either.
Yeah. One last thing on this topic: they dropped the ball Saturday night.
Mm.
They should have did what they did last night or something similar in the ring Saturday night to let people like me who were watching who didn't know who he was, or people in the ring, give us an idea of who this character is. Came out of a box, he danced around, and he disappeared. Was he going to be, I know he looked goofy, but in my mind, was he going to be like a new version of The Undertaker? You told me he was going to be goofy, so I kind of expected that. But like, they dropped the ball by not doing what they did last night at Elimination Chamber to give fans more idea what they were looking at.
Yeah, and if you rewatch it, this will be the last thing on this. If you rewatch it, when he first came out, the crowd popped. And then the crowd slowly went to boos, right? So I think what happened for me anyway, I'm not sure people were booing Danhausen so much in that instance. I think they were booing, they wanted someone bigger. Yeah. They wanted like Chris Jericho. They wanted, you know, some big name wrestler to come out. And Danhausen he's got his popular audience, but he's not a big name wrestler by any means.
Yeah.
So I think
they wanted something bigger. They didn't know who he was. Yeah. And then once they didn't get anything from it, they booed it. Like we don't have no idea what this is. So
yep.
Alrighty. Speaking of gimmicky wrestlers, next topic is, you know, are there any old gimmicks we can bring back out of retirement? I'm going to give an example real quick. Kate Wilson, right? He's the one still left from Pretty Deadly, the toxic guy. He's been doing poems, which reminded me of, there's been a couple of wrestlers who's done poems. John Cena used to rap, but I think going way back to the genius Lanny Poffo, who used to come out.
Lanny Poffo.
He was the leaping Lanny Poffo and would throw Frisbees, and then he was the genius. And
wouldn't he read the poem on the back of the Frisbee and then throw it out into the crowd or something?
Yeah. And then he came out as the genius when he went heel, and he came out and he would read more derogatory poems and everything like that. But any old goofy gimmicks from the 80s or 90s you think that have been in retirement for a while that WWE could bring back? You
know, the one that I've mentioned before, which is still something I'm hoping, and they have the best tag team right now to pull this off, is the old Killer Bees thing, where they both dressed identical. They had the same mask on. They were roughly the same build. So they could just kind of swap in and out whenever the ref wasn't looking, and no one knew. The crowd knew, but the ref didn't know. I think the Lucha guys,
Rayo and Bravo,
I think
they're the Americanos,
the American, I think are perfect for this. I think Tyler Bate's a little bit bulkier than the other guy.
Rayo or Bravo,
whatever. Tyler Bate one. I think he's a little bulkier, but I think they could still, as a funny gimmick, I think they could still pull it off.
We were talking about this when they first introduced El Grande Americano, and they were trying to debate whether or not it was certain wrestlers. And we had talked about
when he first came out. Chad Gable.
When it would be funny if one day it was someone like a Chad Gable. Maybe the next week it was Maxine Dupree. Maybe the week after that it was Omos or somebody else. Just different people in El Grande Americano. So you can either do the tag match, or you can just have different people showing up in this costume and trying to play it off as it's the same wrestler.
Well, that's a different topic, the El Grande situation. But I mean, I'm sure there's other ones from the past that I really liked. But that's always the one that stands out the most.
Yeah.
There's no wrestlers bringing an animal out anymore. Coco Beware used to bring the parrot out. Jake Roberts, of course,
probably
used to bring the snake out.
A PETA issue.
It could be, yeah. No one really does that kind of stuff anymore. I guess the Boogeyman used to bring worms out.
Worms, eat the worms.
Eat the worms, yeah. That used to be a thing.
What about the Master Lock Challenge? Do you remember the Chris Masters?
Yeah, Chris Masters Master Lock Challenge. Yeah, that was Bobby Lashley did something like that.
Did
too.
he?
Yeah.
Okay.
After this was more recent, when Chris Masters, because I know Chris Masters was on one of those social media things wanting to come back to do like a competition with him and Bobby Lashley or something like that. But obviously that never happened. But
I'm just a big fan of submission wrestling. We don't see it much anymore, and just having some sort of a move where, if Kurt Angle ever comes back from injury, get well, not Kurt Angle, Chad Gable ever comes back from injury, get well, Chad.
He's already back.
Maybe he can do the ankle lock challenge or something like that. So, I don't know.
Yeah, I think you mean when he gets unmasked, then he can.
I know what you're talking about.
Go ahead.
All right, last topic of the day. We talked a little bit about last week about the amount of injuries that have been in wrestling, at least like the last year and a half, and just a lot of big names. Now we talked about there's enough wrestlers out on injury right now to fill a full PLE roster. I was thinking about that. I'm a huge basketball fan. I listen to a lot of basketball podcasts, and in the NBA, same things. We've got 4 or 5 of the major top 10 players the last few years have went out with Achilles type injuries. And there's a debate raging in the NBA whether they need to shorten the schedule, play less games so they can practice more. And, players are sitting out. And there's just a debate going, are they playing too much or are they not playing enough? And when I was researching earlier about LA Knight's record on our last show, I saw that he was the wrestler with the most matches last year. How many matches do you think LA Knight wrestled last year in 2020?
Trying to remember the math. Well, it had to be around 30.
Well, mine only included singles, but this was including televised, non-televised, all his matches all last year.
42.
I think it was 67.
Dang.
And these guys used to wrestle hundreds of times a year. And yes, they're much more athletic. There's a lot more high flyers and those type of moves. But like someone like Bronson Reed, wasn't doing anything crazy when he got injured this time. He was diving across the ring to break up a
pin and just hit his arm the wrong way. Yeah.
So are these guys in the weight room too much and maybe not wrestling enough? Maybe they're not building up enough resilience.
Yeah. I mean, I know one of Triple H's things was he pulled all the house shows for a while. So that was why these guys are wrestling 250 times a year, because they had all the house shows. Now he got rid of all those, and I guess he brought a few back. So like I went to the holiday one.
Yeah, they do a lot of house shows around the holidays.
Which was great. It was a lot of fun. I think the crowd probably liked that more than they like some of the recent Raws and SmackDowns. And I did see somewhere there's more coming now. And maybe during the summer they have more coming. I thought I saw a graphic pop up that said WWE Live and had some dates.
Yeah, I know they announced like 12 or 11 new events last night that are going on sale this Friday. I was looking for an event near us. Nothing, unfortunately, coming near us just yet. I didn't pay attention to if those were SmackDown's Raws that they hadn't announced yet or if those were house shows.
So, I mean, maybe they're trying to fix that a little bit. I think that's also important for like younger wrestlers who don't, or even wrestlers who don't get a lot of TV time, who don't wrestle on the main rosters, get rusty and can get hurt when they do come in. Playing off that.
Forget about injuries. Look at all the batches we've talked about.
Yeah, the botches.
LA Knight and his botches. Look at some of the women's matches that have been pretty awful. They used to wrestle these house shows, the same wrestlers over and over and over again to perfect their matches for a Monday Night Raw or a WrestleMania or some big PLE, and they're just not getting those reps anymore.
Yeah, and I know we're out of time here on this, but something else that I added it up here was safety precautions. Are they being checked very well? I know, LA Knight slipped off the rope on Elimination Chamber, but Balor also fell in that same corner prior. So like you said, I mean, maybe he got some of his sweat on the rope or something like that. So why aren't they cleaning the ropes off between matches, right? These guys get sweaty. These are big, hossy dudes slamming into each other. They're getting
20
sweaty.
minutes between matches on a Raw, let alone a PLE. Yeah. There's plenty enough time. I've been there. They changed the mats. Let's get somebody out there wiping down the ropes.
Yeah. I mean, they may do it. Maybe we just don't see it. I don't know, but I feel like there's safety problems a little bit here and there too. So, but yeah, that's about it. That's what we got for this show here. What do you guys think? Whose side are you on? Let us know down below. Are you on the Jade Cargill side? Or are you on the everybody else side? I know what side I'm on.
Yeah. What about the promos? Was CM Punk, did he cross a line referring to Roman's dead dad, regardless if Roman approved it or not? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah. So again, thank you guys. Thanks for watching. I know this is a new show for us on Fridays now. We're going to try to do a little bit more. So thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, leave a comment down below, like we said. And let us know down below what you guys think. So thank you for watching. We appreciate you, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you for watching another episode of Wrestlestop. If you liked what you saw, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell icon. You can reach us at any of the addresses on screen. And there's a couple extra videos here on the screen. If you liked what you saw, maybe you'll like one of these as well. Thanks for watching.